Morning, everybody. Happy Monday.
Good morning, John.
Good morning, Vicky. How are you doing? Don't you just love it when you wake up with a perfect beard?
I've never had that thought. My beard is so perfect today. Sometimes I wake up with pretty good hair.
Do you worry about facial hair at all?
No.
I know lots of women.
Should I?
When you get old, things
Not yet.
Things
Not
start
yet.
to go different.
Well,
Yeah, all my hair moved down into my ears and my back.
yeah.
So
At least you don't have that
it's like a hair ranch.
top of the nose hair. Have you ever
No,
seen
I haven't
that?
got that yet. No,
Yeah.
not yet.
I'm grateful you don't have the top of the nose hair.
No. That's something to look forward to, I guess. Any highlights
Neither
from
do
the
I.
weekend?
I just checked. I don't have it either.
You gotta check it.
Yeah.
You would be able to see it with your eyes. Any highlight from the weekend?
Oh, scootering. We did a lovely scooter tour of downtown.
Yeah, that was my highlight.
Mm-hmm.
That was really cool.
Did a little evening scootering.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I'm just going. You already know, but I just want to confess that I made a grave error in judgment. I've been off sugar and gluten for quite some time, pretty disciplined, and somehow I convinced myself it'd be a good idea. I think at 11 o'clock at night to have a milkshake at Zach's. And yeah,
You really feel terrible after you eat sugar. I don't have that experience.
Oh, all night. I paid for it all night. Like all night. I had heartburn. There was a murmuring in my stomach.
Can I just say though,
my body hated me.
A little bit of a difference between the quantity of sugar that you eat when you eat it and the quantity of sugar.
Yeah, but you drank a whole milkshake.
No, I didn't. I drank that much of my milkshake. You drank your whole milkshake.
Well, you didn't tell me
I drank that much.
Oh.
And I did not feel sick.
Half measures availed us nothing. Yeah, that was fun. Going scootering downtown through like Lower Town, through
behind Parliament Hill.
Sandy Hill, and then later on in the evening up through Parliament Hill over to the War Museum, and then down the side of the river on our little adult scooters. Yeah, that's fun. And I think my highlight of the week is already happening right now. I have cured, like I didn't know.
Oh, yes.
I have cured pork belly for 10 days. And now this morning I have put it on the smoker to make bacon. Yeah. So I giggle at myself because there's such a mass amount of smoke in like neighbors. Every 10 minutes. Yeah. And I laugh at the neighbors.
The neighbor's out doing his yard.
Imagine waking up at 8 a.m. to like bacon and mesquite wood or apple wood, whatever we're using right now.
Yeah.
That neighbor, they were probably saying.
What do you got for our reading today?
What do we got? It is June the 7th. Welcome, everybody. This is every morning we try to do a morning devotional online.
We're trying to be more on target for 9 a.m.
9 a.m.
Are we late? I can't see.
We're late. Yeah,
we're late.
I think we're punctual enough.
Darn.
So we do our own morning devotional each separately, and then we come together to do a prayer meditation time. And sometimes that goes into extra innings. It could be there was never a time set, but sometimes we go into an hour, and it's just like a real great time of connecting with each other spiritually, emotionally, not physically. No.
We talk about our day. we talk about anything that we might be anxious about or have insecurity about, things that are questions.
But we invite God into the time first. We have a time of meditation, and I feel like we're opposite of our cell phones, where we plug in our cell phones at night. But we are different, where we have to plug into God in the morning and remain plugged into Him. That's where we get our power from, and that's where He becomes the manager on a daily basis. And so we have that time together, and then this is our time together in a different way. So hopefully this can be a meditation for you. So what we try to do is get a concept out of our reading together and then take that throughout our day. So today is June the 7th, and it's called Long-Term Hope. Since most of us are born with an abundance of natural desires, it isn't strange that we often let those far exceed their intended purpose, exaggerated, if you will. When they drive us blindly, or we willfully demand that they supply us with more satisfactions or pleasure than are possible or due us, That is the point at which we depart from the degree of perfection that God wishes for us here on earth. That is the measure of our character defects, or, if you wish, of our sins. That is a quote out of the 12 and 12. Our reading is, this is where long-term hope is born and perspective is gained. Both the nature of my illness and the path of my recovery. The beauty of AA or 12-step program lies in knowing that my life with God's help will improve. The 12-step journey becomes richer, the understanding becomes truth, and the dreams become realities. And today becomes forever. As I step into the 12-step light, my heart fills with the presence of God.
Mm.
Amen. My thought out of that is that we have God-given desires, thirsts, hungers, and apart from God, they get distorted and exaggerated. So for my need for, let's say, sex, my need for intimacy, my need for attention, my need to be recognized, my need to be protected and a roof over my head, all of those are God-given things for us to grow in society, to be humans. And so apart from God, a lot of those things can be exaggerated. And so even on a daily basis, even in recovery, those things, I don't think God perfected, his love didn't perfect me from the inside right away. It's been a process of recovery, a process of relationship. And it's something that I get to work on a daily basis. And so I can say today, my long-term hope that I've seen is that I'm not driven by my earthly desires of security, of relationships, of being recognized, being noticed. All of those things aren't driving my bus today in an exaggerated way. So I think that for me is what we're talking about here, is kind of how we started, where we're connecting to God in the morning. And so if I'm disconnected from God, all of a sudden these needs that I have inside of me to be noticed or recognized or whatever it is, they become exaggerated. And so over the course of a week or a month, then that ego builds and builds and builds, and I'm more separated from God than I was before. And that's the long-term hope, is I get to connect to God and those needs are going to be met by God.
Yeah. I agree with everything that you said. I don't know what to add. I'm really at a loss for words.
You don't have to add anything. We can just leave it at that.
I think it's a good concept to think about, of like the fact that everything can come in line, you know, that I don't have to like see my life as like, I'm screwing up over here, or this is like, I just need to like look at God. I need to look for God, and then I keep pursuing God, and then things will be revealed, and I can sort out those things that aren't in line.
I remember being at a church and they were talking about, it was a men's thing, and they were talking about sex. And so they said every guy has a porn addiction. Just how bad is it? And I was like, I don't. I might not be perfect in my relationship to you necessarily. Sometimes I need my needs met, and I don't, like, it's not perfect, but I've grown into where God actually meets all of my needs.
Right.
And I don't come to you demanding this is what I need right now. Like, take the next 2 minutes out of your day to, but that's still consuming. That's a consuming relationship. I need to get all my needs met, and where there's exaggeration of my needs, then I'm consuming the people around me. But the reality is, and the hope is, that God meets all of my needs. And so let's say magically you just disappeared. All of a sudden I have this need that needs to be met. And so what do I go on? I go on the dating apps, and I go like, this is a need that I need met. God's not meeting that need. And so the real hope is that no matter the circumstance on the outside, God's meeting all of my needs inside. And I'm not living out of the exaggerated needs of needing you to fulfill a certain part of my physical or emotional or whatever I think the need is. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's starting to be an awkward conversation on Monday morning.
I'm just like, wow, we did talk about the fact that we'd never talked about sex on this morning Devo. We've talked about that.
Let's crush it.
Now we've talked about sex.
Yeah. It's such a big need that we all have. We're born with that. Like the same as, providing a roof or all those things. Yeah. But is God meeting our deepest needs? Is God fulfilling? Because is the need the real need? Mm-hmm. And then have I made it exaggerated? So we come into recovery, and I can remember the early recovery, and it's like I had these exaggerated needs that needed attention. They needed to be taken care of. And
remember I found that character. It was a meme, and it was like a little caricature of two stick figures, and one's laying on the ground, and the other one's looking down and saying, "How much attention do you need?"
All of it. I know. And so early recovery is like, I have all these needs and they all need to be met right now.
By everybody around me.
But and that's what a consumer is. And so the real hope is, now that I have my needs met inside of me from the power of God, comfort, joy, peace, satisfaction, all of the things, then I come to the world around me with my strength. And I come into my marriage with strength. And I come into every relationship, not to consume, but to strengthen relationships. And so I think the meditation today would be, where do I have exaggerated needs? Where am I leaving God out of meeting my needs? What's my thinking? What are my belief systems around that? There are people that need to actually fulfill some needs of mine, because God wouldn't meet those needs. Those are okay. Good?
Very good.
All right. Have a great afternoon. Wash your hands, keep the peace, be of good behavior, and all of that good stuff. We will see you tomorrow.
Good morning and goodbye.
Good morning.